Now, your first alert forecast from Live 5 News.
And I hope you're having a great Sunday evening. I'm meteorologist Dorien here at Live 5 News. And if we take a look going into the week ahead, we still are tracking all of those very hot and humid conditions that we've seen for much of the weekend. Now, our high temperatures today got up around 90 degrees. That's where we were at yesterday, still factoring in the clouds and our tropical air mass with a system that's continuing to scatter about our coastline. But overall, we are starting to fade away from those rain chances, not fading away from the humidity tonight. And we are actually giving you the first alert to some more heat and humidity building as we go into the beginning and middle of the week. Now, that does come with that danger level in terms of how it feels outside. And you'll notice those heat index values closing in between 105 and likely 110 degrees, which puts us right there into heat advisory criteria. So we'll have more updates coming up within the next couple of days as we start to build confidence in the heat forecast. But either way, still will be very hot, and make sure that you do stay hydrated over the next several days. The rain chances will actually help to cool us off at times, but even that will be very isolated as we go into the beginning and middle portions of the week. But right now, let's take a look outside over West Ashley. Still looking at some clouds in the distance, but temperatures are actually continuing to warm back up as we are losing that rain chance for the evening. Now, our current temperatures are back up around 89 degrees. Feels like 102 since we do have a very humid air mass around, and the dew points are actually well into the mid to upper 70s, just like we saw yesterday and just like we're going to see again as we go into the next several days. But there's a look at our live radar now, just looking at a little bit of cloud cover, mostly across the metro area. This is where we did have a heavier downpour across North Charleston and far northern portions of the downtown area. All of that is continuing to clear out, and we're going to be mostly dry as we go into the nighttime hours. But we can't rule out one or two sprinkles possible with this wave that we do have just off the coastline, and another disturbance that we're tracking moving out of east central Georgia over into the low country as we get into the rest of the night. But more importantly, we are staying very humid and very warm as we go into the next several hours. So temperatures, as I mentioned, upper 80s to near 90 degrees right now. We're coming down near 80 degrees around 9 or 10 o'clock this evening. And then your overnight lows only dropping down into the mid to upper 70s, very much so like we saw last night. Very humid as well, and those winds still an onshore component between 10, 15, and possibly 20 miles per hour as you make your way closer into the coastline. Before your forecast tomorrow, still very hot and humid. Temperatures actually closing in around 97 degrees. And notice this heat index values between 105 and 110 degrees. That's going to be more like what we see going into the next several days. But the rain chance is going to be very brief in nature and more so confined to what we see into the evening hours. So if you do have any Monday plans, maybe you do have the day off, we should be mostly dry. And then we get into our Monday evening, starting to see more isolated to widely scattered storms. Some of these can be a little gusty in nature, but you will notice we start to clear out a little more as we go into our Monday night, and really by the day on Tuesday, we'll start off mostly dry and just a small rain chance possible as we go into the afternoon. But here's a look at the rest of the 7-day forecast. We are still tracking plenty of dangerous heat and humidity, and over the next several days, we are giving you the first alert as those heat index values continue to climb between 105 and 110 degrees.